the next 6 months and reopen the comments for inputs up until end of February, which all inputs will be then tabled at the convex meeting in March, which will then decide on a suitable date to reconvene the AGM within the period of 6 months. Obviously, it's the last day of November today. If you count 6 months, which you are allowed to adjourn to, you are looking at till end of May. So we will need to reconvene the AGM. But I want us to take note of what I'm requesting in terms of the inputs. And again, looking at the election that was supposed to happen, that those members that are representing us on those respective constituencies, that they continue until such time, or representing convocation on those bodies until such time we reconvene the AGM. Because I don't think we've been in one situation where we say we are not being represented on those structures while we are waiting to reconvene the AGM. So I have that proposal to the House to reconvene and open for suggestions or comments on the amendments of the Constitution until end of February. I'm seeing hands. I'm not sure that they are seconding my proposal. Is it 29? Is it a DP? That is my suggestion. I've noted 3 hands.
Chair, thank you very much. Chair, with all the respect, you know how much I respect you, but I don't support you. I think it's a waste of money that you don't have, money that you can use to contribute to the education of the needy students. I would rather amend the proposal slightly. There's an AGM next time. If we can't do the amendments now and propose to do them 6 months later, let's do them in the next AGM. Don't convene us in 6 months' time. These things cost money. We must not be, what is the English word? Convening this costs money. We seem to be acceding a pay number for a chance of amend. I welcome that. So we are managing until next year, we'll submit those. Maybe we can put up the committee. What we are in 6 months' time. It must be in November next year, so we've got a full 12 months. My chief reason is the finances. If you can finance another AGM, tell me what is the cost, and let us pledge that money to our poor students who need it in January. Thank you very much.
So you had your hand up and cover. You're covered. The other one was Zeba. No. You're covered. There is a hand. Yes, hand. Then the last one will be let's say shortly.
I just wanted to second the comrade, maybe just to add a little bit of clarity, because he spoke about convening or giving the task to certain people. We might not all be aware of what he's talking about. In a situation like this, the norm would be, to second what he's saying, the norm would be, in order for the Congress to go on or the organization to move on, is that we adopt and accept this constitution with caveats or with conditions. These conditions be that a task team be established today by this AGM, reporting solely to this AGM or the next AGM, which will be next year. And that committee, be it a 5-man committee or a 10-man committee, is then tasked with the resolution to open the taking in of suggestions. Next AGM, they then, once we're going on, we call the committee to say, present to the AGM what was resolved to be amended. They update the AGM, and then we adopt or accept. And in that way, it means in order for us to move on to the next AGM, the period and the process in between, we still have a constitution governing us. Because if we don't adopt this constitution, the organization is null and void tomorrow. In fact, with immediate effect, once we walk out these doors, because we are not governed or we are not led by any principle or any constitution. So we need to adopt this constitution with conditions. So we accept them and adopt them with those conditions until the next AGM, and that's what Comrade was talking about. Then the next AGM, the committee will then explain in detail what those amendments need to be, and we accept.
Thanks, Anil. I asked people to speak to what I propose, but I see there's different proposals. It's fine. I'll take. I'm not taking any other hands. Nelson was the last one.
Chair, just to proceed to say that the chair cannot make a proposal to a gathering. That must come from the House. So it's a correction. So unless somebody takes your proposal and then puts it to the House for a mover and a seconder, first correction. But secondly, I think I'm covered by both the comrades or colleagues in terms of the amendments, so that Comrade Zwane's proposal incorporates the other colleagues' proposal, and that then becomes one, and I will endorse that proposal, Chair.
What's the point of convergence? Where do you join them?
Well, I think the submission that we take these amendments to the next AGM with those conditions that the other colleague said as a caveat, so that we have a constitution that which all can abide by and which governs the organization, but subject to the following AGM where the necessary amendments come forward, they interrogated, and then a final one is then resolved or agreed at the next AGM.
Maybe let me take a bite on all these issues. Maybe we starting with what colleague Adilet had raised. In my understanding, we have a constitution, and all that we wanted to do was to make few. And it's not that we are reviewing the entire constitution. There were sections that we wanted to make them alive with possibilities as things are in 2019 or 2020 going forward. So if we take a decision that we withdraw those amendments with the intention of giving more time to look into it, the constitution as it is remains in force. That is my understanding, unless I'm misinterpreting something.
Correct.
With regards to, well, I've stopped taking any hands.
Because I think you are misrepresenting what the two gentlemen have said. The two gentlemen have said we need to adopt the amendments that have been presented.
No.
Number two, then we have
Come on, quite honestly, maybe it's what I've been exposed. I hate the howling. I don't know how best I can describe it. If you want to speak, raise your hand, you'll be noted up. We've been here for the past 6 hours solely to give you time. I just cannot take it when people are howling. I'm not sure what. Okay, go ahead.
Chair, I thought this is what my colleague had said. They were saying we are adopting because there were amendments that were presented, and nobody came with objections to them, as I understand. However, we then began to the judges to then reopen the window so that other people with other amendments may make the input, which will then be discussed at the next AGM.
I've noted all those concerns, if as you rightfully said. Right from the word go, people have asked for my and I'm trying to avoid going on this. And I don't want to take a position of saying I'm making a ruling as you have asked to indulge me as the chair to say these are the proposals. And I was trying to take the middle grounds of both, because there is nothing, be it on the amendments or convening this AGM, that is done for the sake of trying to circumvent other people or to as a stopgap of any sort. If there was to be any on the convex I preside over, I would step down the same day, because I do not believe in that. I think it's of no benefit to me to be wanting to be closing other people out. If people want to take over from that, they are more than welcome to do so. But I don't think it is in that spirit that you want to take the AGM to. Hence, I was willing to say, because I'm also preview of what is currently happening with the university reviewing the statute. It was on those bases to try and limit it to 6 months, because whatever that we agree on now, if we miss the boat of submitting the amendments to the review statute committee of the university, the statute can, I think it gets reviewed once. I think the period that we've opened, they last reviewed it more than 10 years ago. So we'll be having a constitution that is not in line with what is on the statute of the university for a longest period of time, yet taking into consideration the cost factor of reconvening another AGM. And also looking at what we've discussed earlier on about the engagement with the DVC, with the VC in terms of the strategy, if we were to convene a meeting, if it is such calling it an AGM. So I was thinking along those lines. Unless if the mandate, now I'm going to change the tone and say, perhaps as part of the person, I don't know myself, I can't say, unless we adopt that I'm sitting on that statute review committee and either prolong it or try and find a way of making sure that it doesn't get finalized on time so that we accommodate this. Or if the AGM feels that we can go ahead with our constitution that we have drafted and not being in line with what is on the statute, then it should be the decision of this AGM, knowing very well that with our constitution that will not be covered. I'm seeing hands keep on, and there are hands I restricted earlier and said I'm not taking it.
Also adopt your position. You lost the chair, sorry.
Can I acknowledge, because I don't think it will be fair if there are hands that I've suppressed earlier, if I'm going to allow hands. And I asked, because I made arrangement with the authority up until 10 so that those people can open their speakers next door to have their hands. So we need to be considerate of that. Can I just take this last 3 of hands? And I'm not taking any hands from them. It's you, it's Ayanda, Simba, the way. And after then, I will make the, you see now, there's another one pushing. I will take you the last one. But 2 minutes, can you please start clocking it? 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, President. Only 30 seconds, not even 2 minutes. President, Mr. Zwane have clarified the issues that you have. If we follow what Mr. Zwane have said here, we're not going to discuss this matter further, because the issue now is Mr. Zwane clearly said, let's suspend this issue of the amendment of the Constitution. I don't know if I heard him properly. Because now we're actually repeating the same thing over and over again. And seemingly it seems like we're not going to finish this meeting if we are still going to engage on the issue of the amendment. And we cannot say we amend if we have not agreed here, because I think the AGM is the bigger body of the convocation to say we agree on this issue or we don't agree on this issue. So that's the point that I wanted to raise, President.
Thank you.
No, thanks, Chair. I just want to move with your proposal, because I'm checking on the issue of the statute. If we say we're going to delay the statute again, I mean, it's not going to assist the convocation in this case. For instance, if we don't adopt now and then we reschedule in 6 months, even if there are financial matters that need to be attended to, we can always have that meeting in the university for that particular point to speak on the constitution, and then we vacate the university. But I think that's the correct way, Chair. I'm moving with your proposal. I'm adopting 6 months. Yes, thank you.
Let's just say,
Yeah, that's fine.
Can I be the chair, please? 440.
Thanks, Chair. I'm from a family that believes in Christianity, so respect always comes first. And it's a tradition also.
Respect my community as well.
Chairperson, I think here we need to agree to say you are an entrusted individual to drive this meeting to a direction that is correct for the meeting. And consistently, you've been very lenient towards your task as a chairperson of the session. Because concurring with my fellow staff member, who's an alumni also today, chairperson can't make a proposal, need to hold on a matter. You understand? But due to the situation that we find ourselves in, we have to participate in the proposal that was proposed by the chairperson, which is out of order of its own. We are continuously going to a wrong direction, guided by yourself. Now, with that being said, I think we have an equal consent here, Chair. We have an equal consent to say, number one, the participation of this AGM does not find expression to the entire output of graduates. With that being said, not because Ayanda is a president that has succeeded when I went to office.
30 seconds.
But I think his move is correct because on the issue of financial constraint, I don't honestly think the AGM can always be held in a hotel. You understand? For instance, let's say we are going to meet in Ken Growers. We have access there. All our students will be able to participate fully. Maybe even some of our staff members will be able to come because it's in close proximity. Which will also which will also, lastly, as I said, which will also open contributions from number of people and also give a space with the committee to further engage on contributions. So with that note, I move with the seconding Ayanda on adopting a proposal. It's a presidential view, this one.
The one that is out of order. Because mine was out of order.
Thanks, Chair. I think you are very precise and to say let's postpone for the next 6 months. Let's have the amendment be submitted, as it were, as you said. We're giving that time. We'll put our views in terms of amendment within 6 months. Primarily because I was supporting one on the basis of financial reasons. But when you raise the issue of the insurance issue, it's very critical that we are aligned. Because you can't have a constitution that is not aligned to the insurance issue. That constitution is not important. They will tell you, counsel, that constitution is not important. It's like it's your document. It's us. We can only deal with ourselves. But once we enter to the university, generally, it's nothing we can do. So it's important that we align it. It's adopted by council at that level. So I think it's prudent that we just allow the process of amendment, because it's our fault that we're here. We didn't submit, and we've got views on the constitution. And you are giving us that indulgence that, okay, we're giving us space. We welcome that. Give us 6 months, we come back, we discuss, we adopt. When we go to the actual AGM, we go with the amended constitution, which has been adopted by which has went through the university processes, and it's aligned with the insurance issue. So we know our constitution is a prudent constitution, prudent document. Now we don't go to December. We adopt a constitution that we still have to wait for insurance stage. Perhaps it speaks different language to the insurance stage, as you have said. Correctly captured it. I think that in that order, comments on the finances might be overlooked in that regard, because the constitution we need is correct.
I thought we would have closed and say we will then take a suggestion as well and will contribute towards convening the AGM, regardless of where.
No, we can contribute. Will be very, very few when we get.
Okay.
Don't chase people, president. We're 3 of us in the
Okay. I think the inputs and making a ruling based on the inputs is that with effect from 1st December, we are, well, today, but we are giving ourselves 6 months with effect from tomorrow, so to reconvene the AGM. All members who are still serving, who are supposed to have been elected, they will continue on those positions until such time we convene the AGM. And for your inputs on the documents to convex, because you will be addressing the convex, which is the highest decision-making body within this AGM, not the Constitutional Review Committee of Convocation. You will address it to convex. The convex will meet, I think, on the 20th or 22nd of March. So on the 14th of March. So the due date for submission, and I want this one recorded, Secretariat, the end of February, which I'm told is the 29th.
Yeah, 29th.
That's a due date. All inputs will then, the 2 weeks, convex, the office will put that together to present it to the convex meeting that will sit on the 14th, which then determine, looking at it, what need to be worked on and decide on the date, because we still need to send the very same notice 30 days prior to the date of the AGM, trying to make sure that we meet the end of May for us to reconvene the AGM. Am I clear on those timelines?
Yeah.
Inputs by end of February, please. Is there something else I've left out?
Second question.
Yes.
Bonestad. Mine is just to ask, are the amendments the reason that you are closing the meeting, or maybe we're running out of time? That's my question.
It's both, but one particular way I've been pressed with time, and I indicated earlier on. But the rest of the other issues have an impact on the election itself. So right from the amendments, it impacts on the next item, which is on the election. Hence, there is a proviso that says those that are serving that then continue for that period. I'm therefore closing the meeting.
All right.